Thursday marks the beginning of the NCAA tournament, known as March Madness. It's a time of year when everyone in the office creates a bracket, and sometimes productivity can drop for a day or two. Baldwin and Vukmir both talked about issues they think are important to Wisconsin and America. 53% of the threats we've seen after the Parkland shooting have been on some form of social media. In December, Scott Walker signed a series of GOP lame duck bills. Download the geocaching app and click Find Nearby Geocaches. From there, a map of all the caches in the area will pop up. Prior to his job here as the Rhinelander City Administrator, he was the Weston Village Administrator. I think my favorite thing that we have here tonight is the Dunk a Deputy up there. First, you'll want to start your car. There's also a drink called the Blue Wave. The bartenders are serving, so they're getting into the action as well. Dakota, first I have to say, what an incredible game. We'll have highlights later in the show to show you the full extent of the action. There's still plenty of time to get your yummy treats. I've got mine right here. I've got my M&M Blizzard.
Stay strong. We love you. We want you home. Never give up. Because I know I won't.
Hope Berg keeps her daughter with her every day through pictures and memories.
She loved being around people. She'd do anything she could to help anybody out that she could.
But right now, all those memories are nearly 10 years old. Kayla went missing in 2009 and hasn't been seen since. She was reportedly driving around Anago with an older friend on August 11, 2009. He dropped her off at a Wausau home, and she was never seen again. But people haven't forgotten, thanks in part to some revived hope after Jamie Kloss was found earlier this month.
There's definitely been a renewed interest in Kayla's case. We've got a few more tips since that has hit.
Detective Sergeant Daniel Dooley said he's gotten a steady flow of tips in the past 3 or 4 months. The break in the Kloss case also gave Hope a new faith that her daughter will be found one day.
It's an opportunity for me to keep Kayla's name out there.
There's evidence around the city. It isn't just Hope who believes her daughter will return.
It really affects the whole community and not just the direct people involved.
In Anago, Rose McBride, Newswatch 12. When the end of September hits, the machines come out, and it's time to harvest.
All of our products are grown specifically for the craisins market.
Stephen Bartling and his brother own a cranberry farm in Manitowish Waters.
It's really a family ordeal.
And they're the 4th generation to run the property.
It was started by my great-grandfather Delbert back in 1946.
Cranberry growing is a year-round job, but when fall harvest rolls around, things get a little bit busier. Stephen focuses on growing and harvesting, but this year the economic side of the cranberry business took a hit.
Primarily, we're just getting much better at growing them than we were at selling them.
This year, the USDA said farmers will only be able to sell 75% of their total product in the market. With too much supply and not enough demand, people in the industry knew they had to do something to control the market. But the other 25% won't necessarily go to waste.
They can use it as animal feed. It can be used as a soil amendment, but they'll find ways to utilize it outside of competitive markets.
The USDA hopes that by reducing what farmers are selling, the supply and demand will soon even out. The order might be a pain for farmers like Bartling in the short run, but in the long run, it will just mean all of the farm's ripe cranberries can be enjoyed and Stephen and his family can keep doing what they love.
It's a lifestyle. I mean, you really get to live it, do it, be it. I mean, what a great thing to do in the Northwoods.
As it always has been for me, it starts with education.
As the former superintendent of Wisconsin schools, Governor Tony Evers placed a big emphasis on education in his State of the State address. As he did in his inauguration address, Governor Evers said the children of Wisconsin are the ones who will eventually run the state. Governor Evers wants to return to 2/3 funding, meaning the state will fund 2/3 of a child's education, something that receives support from both sides.
And I was especially pleased to learn that the Speaker has encouraged his members to support this provision in our budget, and that I hope I can count on your support going forward.
In addition to general education funding, Evers spoke about increasing support for students with special needs, students from low-income areas, and minorities.
Tony Evers has always led on funding our public schools and equity, giving kids, every kid, the opportunity to succeed and get ahead, and I think that's what he's doing in his budget.
One thing got positive attention from everyone in the Assembly chambers tonight, and that was Evers' pledge to cut taxes for the middle class.
If he does that, we're going to continue to see a growing economy, and we're going to have more money to be able to spend on priorities like education, mental health, those type of things that Governor Evers talked about.
Evers' address varied from the past 8 that Governor Walker gave. But the GOP thought one important topic was missing: the strong economy.
The state of Wisconsin is strong. I mean, unemployment still remains at an all-time low for the last 11 months. That wasn't really touched on tonight.
Wisconsin is in a very good shape, and the number one thing that Governor Evers can do at this point is just make sure and don't screw it up.